Hello, everyone. I'm JeanClaude BeyondMystic, and welcome to this very, very special deep woo-woo episode of the Divine Feminine Oracles. With me tonight, of course, are Julie, Sophie, and Janine. You can find Janine at Sending Ravens here on YouTube at Tarot by Janine. You can find Julie here and Sophie also at Maison Jupiter on their YouTube channel, as well as on the web at maisonjupiter.com. Julie, Janine, and Julie, welcome back to the show.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
That's a mouthful in the introduction. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Thank you so much to the live audience joining us here tonight for this special broadcast. We're excited to share with you the topic of detox and the Scorpios, those damn Scorpios. Julie, why don't you set us up a little bit here on why we chose that subject matter for this particular evening? And then I'm going to ask both Janine and Sophie, seeing as we have them here, to pull some cards and to see what energies are propelling this conversation tonight. Julie, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I have a few friends that are that have strong Scorpios. So either it could be a sun in Scorpio, a rising sign in Scorpio, a moon in Scorpio, or a lot of planets in the 8th house, which is a house associated with Scorpio. So, and I noticed that they were under like a deep transformational process because we have the South Node, which is in Scorpio right now for a year and a half. The North Node is in Taurus. So that means that we're going to have eclipses along the Taurus-Scorpio axis for a year and a half. So Tauruses and Scorpios are going to be under like a deep transformational process. So either sun, like I said, rising sign, moon, it could be all of those options. So I thought it would be interesting to talk about Scorpios and the energy of Scorpio because it's such like an intense, but I don't think it's well known because Scorpios have deep psychic gifts that they want to share at some point in their lives.
And I think that's probably part of this particular incarnation is perhaps to heal those past lifetimes so that they can access all of those deep gifts you just mentioned. Why don't we start with Janine? You kind of spoke about this before on the show. Maybe the audience members have not seen that episode. First, Janine, speak about your experience here dealing with that sign. And then also let's pull in some cards to see what universe can maybe suggest for the audience members here who have a strong Scorpio component to their chart on how best to navigate these specific times. Janine.
Well, my moon's in Scorpio. So being a Taurus with the Scorpio moon says I was born on a full moon. When you're in opposition sun moon, the moon was full when you were born. And a Scorpio moon is very intense and passionate and secretive. And whenever your moon's in a certain sign, it kind of gives a little glimpse into what your past lives might have been like. And Scorpio moon is a very difficult, unfortunately, they call it the I think it's one of the worst moon signs, or I don't believe in worst or best in astrology. It's all about how you use it. But let's say this, it's very difficult because you've been likely enslaved or a sexual slave and lots of abuses, in particular around sexuality, and also put to death in enslavement, stuff like that. So it's really intense. So you've had lifetimes of some degree of being a captive and usually used, let's just say, badly. And so you don't trust, and you in particular don't trust. So you come into this lifetime with the moon in Scorpio, it's giving a hint towards where your issues might be. So you're going to come into this lifetime with some mistrust. You don't trust emotional situations. You're kind of to varying degrees, because some Scorpio is incredibly emotionally connected. But when they've been abused like that, if it's really badly aspected in your chart, you're going to either be an abuser yourself and or be subject to abuse, or just not trust and have a really hard time in relationships. To whatever degree that is going to somehow show up. You'll have experiences around abuses this lifetime, or you'll be so weary of that sort of thing, depending. You'll never allow yourself to be abused, but you also won't let yourself be close to anybody. So you got to get over a lot of stuff. Scorpio moon has a lot of issues, I'll tell you that. But they're also the most loving, once they love somebody, they're almost fiercely loyal and loving. And they believe everything's a destiny. There's this deep destiny feeling with the Scorpios. That's sun or moon. And so it's a very intense and passionate, and but it can also be troublesome, especially if it's in your moon sign.
Very good. And thank you for that, Janine. A lot of people I see already in the live chat are relating to your description there. I just wanted to mention this, guys. If you're watching on Sending Ravens, there's still apparently some issues there. Somebody in the chat here is saying that Janine is frozen on that side. As you know, guys, on this weekend, Janine and I discovered that she had been demonetized by YouTube, and there's still some weird shenanigans happening there on Sending Ravens. So if you're on Sending Ravens now and you're having difficulty with the feed, please just pop over here to Beyond Mystic. We're also simulcasting here tonight, and so far it seems to be running stable, at least for now, on this side of the fence. Okay, so Janine, let's pull some cards here on what the energies are suggesting, or how people with the strong Scorpio component in their astrology can navigate this particular detox time here in our history.
So it's time to start. So pages are often about the beginning of something. Start letting go of, and just assume the position of, like the Fool, he assumes the position of footloose and fancy free. And I feel like this is saying, because this card was in the middle, it's saying we need to let go of and stop hiding behind anybody with Scorpio. Okay, I've been told that Scorpio is really intense and passionate and brooding and all of these things. You know what? They can be anything they want to be. So start choosing for yourself how you want to use your energy, because the Fool throws all of that behind them and says, you know what? I'll be joyful if I want. If you're aware of the potential issues in your chart, that's part of the beauty of knowing your birth chart, because then you can navigate around them, move into other parts of your chart, and just be aware of some of these things. Like, I'm aware that I can be certain ways, but at the same time, I don't activate it. I purposely can see that I'm doing that. Okay, so I'm going to step away and try to trust, or try to open up, or and I only use that energy when it's really working to my benefit. So being aware of your energy and what the potential of it is really important, but also make choices for yourself how you want to be.
Okay, very good. Wow, fascinating. Thank you so much. Let me bring up Sophie as well. Sophie, how do you want to frame the question here with the card pool on the specific topic of Scorpio for this evening? Oops, hold on, you're muted. There you go. Go ahead, Sophie.
I want to say that I don't have your challenge, Janine, because I don't have my moon in Scorpio, but I do have my Scorpio in my 8th house. So that means that all my life, before my sister was interested by astrology, so I could make sense of what it meant, I was always attracted by some things that were maybe darker, taboos. So mediumship, the cards, ghosts, investigation, cold cases, things like that. And because we are always told that we have to stay in high vibration and let all those things behind, it's a big challenge for me to be attracted by those things and not understanding why am I attracted by them. Well, I have to be in high vibration. So knowing our birth chart, it's helped us to really understand the Scorpio. It is a part of our identities. It is a part of life. We just have to make it healthy. And we have to understand where it is. So we have to deal with it healthily and to be able to move on when it's needed from bad energies. In my case, I don't think since in my 8th house that it is bad thing for me to look at those things. Maybe Julie can tell me if it's still a bad thing for me, for my vibration, to be interested in cold cases, past life, tarot reading, mediumship.
You're right. It's totally normal. And as you said, we all have Scorpio in one place or another in our birth chart. So everybody has the Scorpio energy in their birth chart. So, and as you said, I feel like trying to negate like all the dark Scorpio stuff. It's kind of part of the spiritual bypassing. So it's like you're not willing to look at your own shadows, and it's part of the awakening process. So as you said, this is a very important part, and this is the Scorpio part. So it's really good. And you, Sophie, you have it in your 8th house. So it's really good that you channel this scorpionic energy into either conspiracy, mediumship, as you said, looking at the serial killers series. It could be just like some silly things like that, but it's a way of channeling this energy and not fearing death, which is also a very important component of the scorpionic energy.
Very good. Sophie, let's go back to you here and pull some cards on your side on how the universe wants Scorpios here to transition through this detox period. And while we're waiting, May Levy's in the house. Thank you so much, May, for joining us here tonight. The amazing May Levy. Guys, go check her out at deepintuitivehealing.com. And Julie, also bring your microphone level up just one notch. You seem to be a little bit low as compared to Sophie and Janine.
Told me that my volume was too high. I'm trying to now.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. Okay, the floor is yours, Sophie.
Okay, so we do have Dark Night of the Soul, and we do have this card, which for me, it is a blockage. So I think that right now, it is really important before the eclipses season starts that we look at those blockages and we do remove them. So we need to face them. We need to use the Scorpio energy right now to all of us to face what is more taboo, what we are not comfortable maybe with, and to be able to move on and to accept what is also done and we need to remove from our life now.
Okay. Okay, very cool.
And excuse me. But I think it was interesting that Janine pulled and Sophie talked about too, is Janine had the Fool and she also had the Sun. So it's important that in order to purge out the more darker Scorpio energy, because we have the South Node in Scorpio right now. So collectively, we're purging out all of the dark past lives that we had that were abused, all the abuse in the collective also, this victim and bourreau. I'm having a blank. How do we say that in English? Anyways, this
abuser maybe?
Thank you. Abuser, victim, duality that is linked to Scorpio. So we're kind of purging this from the collective history and our own moons. So I think, but the main how do we do that is by shedding light first on our shadows. So we need to look at the shadows first with the Sun shedding light in order for us to move to the next big chapter, which is the Fool. So I think we're in there all together right now.
Okay, very good. And while I have you on the screen, Julie, why don't you bring in some of the astrology here also and how the alignments currently further propose both of the interpretations from Sophie and Janine here on how to navigate perhaps these times.
Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so as I was saying, the South Node is in the sign of Scorpio right now. So that means the eclipses that we're going to have on April 30th and May 16 are in the Scorpio-Taurus axis. So if you have strong Scorpio in your chart, so either a Sun, Rising, Moon, or a strong 8th house, it means that you're going to be personally affected by this transformational process. Not only this season of eclipses, but also the whole 1.5 year period that we're going to go through. So, and because let's say it's either your rising sign or your sun sign or your moon sign that it's in Scorpio, we place that on the ascendant. So that means that you're going to be affected in your relationship axis. So it's going to be you versus the other one that's going to be under a strong transformational process. So your identity, the way you see yourself, your values are going to change, but also the people you want to associate with, maybe your relationship dynamics are going to change as well because you're changing. And yeah, as Janine was saying, I totally agree. She was saying this is probably one of the most difficult signs to be incarnated in. And that's because either moon, sun rising, or strong Scorpio. It's because Scorpio is related to crisis, to pain, to facing your own shadows. So it's like the biggest potential of soul growth is in the scorpionic energy. But since you're like fast forwarding your soul evolution, you're going through hardship first. So through crisis and pain, Scorpio energy provides the greatest amount of soul growth. So it's like you're going on the fast forward path in order for your soul to grow. So you agreed to that before.
Life in the fast lane here of spiritual
Yeah.
growth. Okay.
Yeah, and I think a lot of Scorpios, or a lot of people with strong Scorpio, were born in the past decades because we're going through this fast forward ascension process. So we're purging out of all past lives, ancestors' lines. So I think this is really an important energy. And I have a little section that I think you're going to find interesting, because if you have your sun in Scorpio, it means that your life mission is really connected to the Scorpio energy. And if you have your moon there, it's also connected in rising sign. So life missions of Scorpios. I wrote, first of all, be in service to truth. So Scorpios are not known to be diplomats. And it's because they have to tell the truth and they have to expose the truth. And it's part of their life missions. So if you have a Scorpio friend, then you know they're gonna tell you the things like they are. They're not gonna sugarcoat, and they also have like a very strong bullshit detector, which is part of their charm. I love Scorpios. Also, another life mission of Scorpios is facing your own shadows, overcoming the fear of death, which is the biggest fear usually in human psychology. And because I'm gonna try to not say that word too many times because I know I'm not supposed to, but this D word is indeed a transformation. So not fearing transformations in life, not fearing that we're going to change and we're going into the unknown many times in our lives. So we're facing little deaths, little transformations. So it's part of the Scorpio mission. Also, Scorpios, they feel very intensely all the emotions. So that means it's part of their life missions to experience all the highs, all the lows, and then to be able to not let emotions control you, to have this emotional mastery. So you still feel very deeply because it's part of your human experience. And it's part of your psychic power of feeling other people too and being an empath, but not let the emotions control you, which is a big one, I think. Also, Scorpio is linked to power. So one of the big life missions of Scorpio is to get out of this loop of victim abuser and find your own self-empowerment. And then once you go through this portal, you can help others empower themselves. So by becoming a healer, a teacher, a guide, a mentor, a psychologist, either through your work or just through your energy, the people you meet in your everyday life. You could work for the government and still be a really good psychologist, and people go into your office and share their life stories. So you don't have to do that for a living, but for sure your energy is going to exude like a healing and a psychology a vibe.
Wow.
And then some archetypes that are associated with Scorpio are the shaman. So transforming, transmuting, being kind of the phoenix rising from its own ashes and helping people in this transformational process. Of course, it's the highest frequency possible of the Scorpio is the healer, the shaman and the healer, the psychologist. And also it's linked in Vedic astrology to be an intuitive astrologer. So the more intellectual astrologer is linked to Aquarius, but the more intuitive astrologer is the Scorpio. So I thought that was very interesting. And it's also the sign that was linked to mystery schools in ancient times. So everything that is linked to kind of detaching from your physical body in order for you to connect with the other world, to spirits, to this more energetic world.
It's fascinating, and thank you so much for this presentation, Julie, because it very much feels, going through this now and understanding, and perhaps the audience will join me here, realizing maybe that for the first time that Scorpios are really diamonds in the rough, maybe, yes, but diamonds nonetheless. Janine, you're nodding your head. What do you want to add here to the astrology and some of these contexts?
Well, it's interesting because absolutely every Scorpio or Scorpio Moon I've ever met, just bar none, I don't think, are all psychologically smart, intelligent people. You can't get anything by them. Like they're most of the ones I know use it well, but then there's of course the dark side of that where they could misuse their energy. There's not obviously there's as many, not using it well as they're using it well, but I know a lot of really fine Scorpios or Scorpio Moons. I have a lot of Scorpio Moon friends, actually, interesting, and associates, and almost all of them are working in the healing arts somewhere, magical arts, healing arts. They're making potions, or they're doing something similar to what I do. Like, so you're right on, Julie. Like, and when you said intuitive astrologer, as soon as I first saw like an astrology chart, and the first time I went to a class on astrology, it just made sense to me, but I wouldn't call myself at all. And a lot of people are going to laugh at that. I'm obviously not a technical astrologer. I don't work that way, and I don't have a memory for that, but I absolutely can put somebody's birth chart. I can just look at it and I know what's going on. And I don't even know how I know, I just know.
Mm-hmm.
It speaks to me, that language, the visuals of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Sophie, anything to add also on the astrology?
Famous people who are Scorpios, who were talking about that just coming to the show. So on the darker side, we had Charles Manson, and on the brighter side of it, we do have other people. I don't know all of them, but we have the painter Monet, who was very... we have a lot of emotion in his paintings. So that's also a sweeter side of the Scorpio. I just want to say that Scorpio, when we are in those times right now, we need you. We need you to show us that it is okay to go inside. It is okay to ask questions, to investigate. It is okay to remove all of those blockages from past life and go into more darker subject. It is really okay to do that currently with everything going on.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. I think that's going to bring a note of encouragement to those who have a big Scorpio influence in their astrology. Speaking of astrology, Julie, also for the audience members who are looking maybe to understand a little bit more about their personal astrology, talk about this product here you have on your website and how it can help people better navigate their lives.
Yeah, so on MaisonJupiter.com, I produce birth charts, personalized birth charts. So it's the exact placement of your planets at the moment of your birth. And it comes with a 15 to 20 pages report explaining all your planet placements and aspects between your planets. So I think it's a really good starting point to understanding your own psychology, how you work, how you react to situations, what's your best careers, your best relationship energy. So I think it's a really good starting point in order to get to know yourself better.
Okay,
it's surprising. The info in that, it is surprising. So just be open to that, because sometimes we think that we know ourselves, but reading that, it is amazing, the information.
Well, I can speak for experience on that as well. You guys gave me one of these for my birthday, and I keep going back to it and finding more things every time. And even the first read, I was like, wow, really? That makes a lot of sense. And I understand a lot more things about myself. also because I thought I was a Pisces for most of my life until I figured out that I was actually Aries right on
Not a
that
Pisces.
cusp.
We're not a Pisces.
No, we're not Pisces. So, guys, you can find that, of course, at MaisonJupiter.com. And there, if you use the coupon code BeyondMystic, you'll get 10% off of this amazing birth charts. And you can also get a booking here, a tarot booking with Sophie. Also, you can get the 1 hour bookings there and or the priority bookings for 30 minutes if you're looking to have a little bit more I guess, rapid intervention. If there's something happening in your lives right now, she does bring these up from time to time here to help people who need a little bit of a helping hand on a quicker basis. So please do go check that out. And again, there, the coupon code BeyondMystic. It works also for the bookings with Sophie. We're at that time now where we have a special guest to bring on the show to bring all of this together and to talk about the transition, of course, between the old world and this new world of Aquarius we're moving into. And also going through the challenges of having astrology maybe in the way, but also supportive to all of these changes. With us tonight, of course, is the amazing Elena. Elena, welcome to the Beyond Mystic audience. How are you? Oh, hold on, Elena, you're on mute. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hey.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
We're excited to have you on. And folks, please welcome Elena here to the family. She is a new collaborator on MaisonJupiter.com. Let me first maybe bring Julie up on the screen and explain to us what this new collaboration is all about. And then we're going to ask Elena here how universe conspired to bring her to the work she's doing today. Julie.
So I'm super excited because I have one of my best friends here tonight, Elena. Elena is a Scorpio sun, so she knows that what we're talking about is true. And we have this super nice collaboration that we just started because Elena, she did like a professional 180, we can say. She used to, well, I'll let her talk, but I'll just introduce her really quickly. She used to have a really corporate job, and then she switched over to a more spiritual career as a true Scorpio sun and Pisces rising. So she just started producing, well, she just not starting, but she just started producing this new line of candles that we just added to the Maison Jupiter website. So these are really special candles because they have crystals on them. And we decided to create one for every chakra for different manifestation purposes. So I'll let her explain everything.
Okay, don't go too fast. We'll get to that in a moment here. Let's bring up Elena, of course. She has an amazing story. If you guys recall, back in December, Janine and I had interviewed the amazing Carla, who was going through that exact same process and who is now creating amazing organite pyramids for the Beyond Mystic audience. And I wanted to have this opportunity also here to share with you guys, the audience here, the amazing Elena. So Elena, again, welcome back. And please take maybe the next 2 or 3 minutes here to explain to the audience how universe conspired to bring you to where you are here tonight.
Perfect, I will. Let's talk about talking about a bit about my parents. My parents, they left their country when there was a big war. I was not there anymore. I was not there as an Elena. But so they had to leave the place and come here to Canada. And then a surprise came, and it was me. At a very young age, I was able to speak with through the spirit board with the spirits, and I was able to speak with them and not even touching the planchette. And at one point, well, you were talking about the Scorpio, and I'm like, okay, you guys are really talking about me. And yeah. And I started to be very scared of that, very, very scared. So that's why I stopped using playing with, speaking with all the spirits and everything. And after I became a very, very, very shy person, my personality was not there anymore. So I find that I lost a bit of myself, and something happened, and out of the blue, I became in secondary, I became very popular, and it just switched. But at the same time, I had toxic relationship. And that, as a Scorpio, trying to help was very important for me, but I was not doing it in a good way. And I remember my father used to tell me every time, you cannot help those people, they're not going to change. But I was very stubborn. But I learned so much through that type of situation, and very scared situation. But now I feel like so grateful. And every time that I felt that I was going through like something that death was close to me, I was scared, but at the same time, I knew that I was able to handle it, which I believe is my Scorpio personality that was helping me a lot. And when I was young, starting in secondary, I needed to like find myself like at home in my room, close the light, open candles, and just listen to music. That was the way that how I connected. So I've been in a connection with candles since I'm at that age. And I didn't know about like this passion that I have, but it was there in front of me. But some people told me, don't go through artistic things, do something that it's safe,
Right.
and you will listen to them. And that's what happened to me. I lose a bit of myself on a spiritual way at that moment. And after I had very like hard situation also in other toxic relationship, my friends were there to help me out because they knew how I am. And I had a dance studio with one of our good friends, and this is where I met Julie.
Yeah.
Yes, I was a Zumba instructor at that time.
Nice picture.
And sorry.
You guys are having way too much fun there. Let's talk also about Elena. Thank you first of all. Thank you for that. I know it's a little bit emotional to go through some of those changes in your life, but talk about also how, on top of the candles to reconnect, to center yourself, you did in fact decide to not listen to the outside world, the corporate job, and all that, and started moving into movement, dance, yoga, and how this propelled you to now self-actualizing yourself and really, really disconnecting from the matrix. Explain that to the audience.
So basically, I started to teach when I was 13 years old. But at that moment, like I was not doing that enough. That's why I had like the dance studio, and through movement, I was able to express myself. Because I was not able to speak, that was the way for me to express myself. And then after, when we decided to close the studio, I felt like I needed to continue in teaching, because for me it's something that I really needed to do. And with Julie, we start like going to yoga classes, and it was really not on the spiritual way. It was more like, okay, let's be perfect, let's do this
Technical, yeah.
exactly. And we were looking at ourselves in the mirror. But then after, when I went to San Diego for my yoga training, it was absolutely another story. And then I really connect with myself on the spiritual way. That's where everything happened. And at the same time, my grandmother was passing away. And my grandma is like my mom for me, but I was not in pain. I felt like she gave me that strength to be able to express myself through yoga and through spirituality.
Wow. Fascinating. And if you feel like sharing also, you and I share a common factor in our lives. We're both parents of twins. How did that affect you also in this transition?
Oh my God, that affected me a lot, and it still does. It's still very hard. Sophie, I'm looking at you because you know, well, Julie too, you know a lot about my situation. First of all, I was bed rest for almost 90 days, but with twin situation, but I was really calm because I was really connected to the spiritual way. But then after, I was in a lot of pain, and I didn't know how to react. And I love kids. I love kids. When I had my dance studio, I I was teaching the kids and but when it was my kids, it was so hard, and I knew that something was wrong with me. So I had a session with Sophie, and she said she was looking. She said to me, "Is the thing is right now, I'm in my life that it's the longest life that I've been, and before I never had kids." And and I said to Sophie, I'm really scared. I remember I said to you, I'm really scared of death. And because I like, I never came here like through this moment through my life. So I don't know how to, it's very hard for me, but Julie told me everything's going to be fine.
Okay, hold on a second here. At this point, let me bring Sophie on. Sophie, of course, has been having amazing testimonials since she was introduced on this channel, and she's doing a lot of amazing readings for our Beyond Mystic audience. She's also hearing, of course, voices from the departed in all this, but she also is dabbling perhaps in some past lives as they come up here in some of those readings. With, of course, Elena's permission, Sophie, share a little bit what you can hear of this experience and what went through in that reading and what came out of it.
I will let her do it just because I will respect what she wants to say or what she don't want to say. But yes, I do. Past life is a big passion of mine. I really adore looking at your past life. Every time someone asks me, do I have a past life? I could explain something in my life or some difficulties that I have. I always go there. I love it. So, Elena, if you're okay with that, I will let you explain what you feel okay to share. But if you have a session with me, it's your first session with me, always ask. I'm okay with that. I adore looking at your past life. And for the ones that had a session with me in the past, you know that I always love to go there.
Okay, amazing. And Elena, what I understood, and of course, folks, Elena's her English is not her first language, and so for some of the translation here might be difficult for you to understand. But what I understood, Elena, and you can correct me, is that this lifetime here now is the longest you've lived of all your past lifetimes, meaning that you usually suffer a premature death, which explains why you have this fear of death. Is that correct?
Exactly. And
Okay.
Sophie, feel free to speak about it. Like right now, I feel comfortable 100%. And
so what we have discovered in this session is that you have died, yes, from a young age every time. And if I remember correctly, because I have done a million sessions since then, you have also never been a parent before. So that was something that is completely new. So for everyone that doesn't know a lot about past life, usually we develop talents and skills through different lifetimes. So just example like this really quickly, Mozart was able to write beautiful music at the age of 5. This is not coming on this new life and being able to explore skills like this right away. It is because you have been through lifetime to lifetime to lifetime mastering something. So when you don't have a life where when you were a parent before, it is so hard to learn something new. It is dizziness and scared and anxiety and not knowing. So I feel for you because it is something that not a lot of us can live in our life right now, something completely new. And being a parent is something that's already hard as is. So
Right.
with twins and with never having a life where you have that, explored that and develop those skills, you're a hero.
Absolutely. Janine, can I have you chime in here also? You've heard the story here of Elena. Perhaps you want to pull a few cards, or perhaps you also have personal words of wisdom here, as she too right now is going through this transition into becoming a shaman herself.
Interesting. Yeah. I think I was kind of shaman-like from a really young age myself. And she doesn't feel like energetically that's where like I feel like she's really comfortable with that. Am I right about that, Elena?
Correct.
Yeah. And I the feeling I was getting past life, when Sophie was talking about your past life reading, and when you were talking about your past life, having never been a parent, I think I might have had that same experience. Spirituality was really natural, but physically, literally, day-to-day life was hard. And I'm maybe something similar going on with you, do you think?
Exactly.
Like
Absolutely.
literal life, like, yeah, because you've been really spiritual and really guiding others spiritually many lifetimes. And then now all of a sudden you're like literally like a mom with 2 children and physically, literally needing to, because that's like, talk about earth calling, Elena.
Right. With Elena's permission, can Janine pull cards perhaps on what universe has to say with respect to maybe this lifetime, why it's longer than the previous, and perhaps what the ultimate goal of this particular incarnation is for you, Elena? Do you want to tackle that? Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, that is interesting that you've had all these short lifetimes. You just maybe had a real specific mission. You came in spiritually, you did the work. Interesting.
I think it was in order for her to face the fear of death, because she also has her South Node in Scorpio, which talks about your past life's experience. So when you have your South Node in Scorpio, meaning you've lived very traumatic death and traumatic life experience in past lives. So meaning in this lifetime, her North Node is in Taurus, so she has to really enjoy life, learn how to live fully. So it's like the opposite. Yeah.
Wow.
And on that note, also, I think that our lessons seen our past life, it is also being able to put boundaries and not sacrificing for everyone else.
Very good point. Okay, Janine, what do the cards have to say?
I just want to make sure I'm not going to go into uncool territory, Elena. What was like, can I talk about your relationship with your father?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. You two knew each other in another lifetime.
Okay.
And this lifetime, you were clearing up some karmic residue where it could have been a difficult relationship in that other lifetime. Is any of that true? What was your connection with him this lifetime? Did it feel difficult?
It was difficult. It became difficult when I was about, let's say, maybe 8 years old. And so for me to connect with my father became really difficult. That's why I believe I started to be in toxic relationships.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's some really big, and part of the reason you had to have yourself a nice, long, really literal lifetime is you had some past life things to clear up. So not just with your father, but with men, like you said, you had to get to a more even. Were the relationships with men, just making sure, like the loverships?
Yes.
Yeah. So you had to get to an equilibrium with your energy with men, and just feel personally empowered in the relationship, and just come to a place where you felt you didn't have to lose yourself in it, and you could have boundaries. You didn't overdo the boundaries. Like you had to, like this card wants to come to a really good place with it, like where it's easier, it's easygoing. You're trying to get to a more evolved way of being with partners and lovers. So that takes time. You have to have long drawn out relationships, or at least work on some real specific ones. You can't just come in and out of a lifetime to learn. Those are tools that your soul really wanted to learn this lifetime. That takes time. And of course, it takes time to raise children, to birth them and then raise them, all of that. So you are going to have a long lifetime this lifetime.
Wow.
Because you have a different mission.
Right. Wow.
Oh.
Fascinating. Okay, I get goosebumps with that. And Jim Montgomery was saying, yeah, Janine is on fire tonight. Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. Okay, Elena, you explained that as a young child, you were always fascinated with candles. It's something that stuck with you. And now even more so in this work that you're doing as being a mother, as being perhaps a shrink, a shaman to the people around you and to your family, you are still very much connected to these candles, and you're now producing your own. Let's talk about your production process, why you're so passionate about these candles, and explain to the audience members here what they can look forward to if they pick up one of these amazing, very uniquely designed candles.
So first of all, I want to say these candles are 100% natural. And for me, it was important because everything that you smell, right now we need to be like more conscious. And I started to be like more conscious long time ago, because it's what you smell, it's the emotion that it gives you. And so for me, let's say example, when I wake up, I need energy. First thing in the morning, I will open my candle, and through this fire I feel like a connection. And that's why I feel like I'm so connected. And this type of like fragrance are very natural. And I can say that Julie was like guiding me through this process, and she always believed in me, and she said, Elena, this is like, she knew that I was going through the right path. So thank you so much, Julie.
Oh, you're so cute.
Well, Julie, why don't we bring you on? Explain also here the process, what people can expect now. This is on the boutique. We just launched this today, but I want you guys to talk also about, she just mentioned they're all natural products, but what goes into making these candles and why are they so unique and difficult to find in this realm?
Well, first of all, she uses soya wax, 100% soya wax. So this is not loaded with chemicals as regular wax candles that you can buy at the store. So it's a lot more natural for your home. There's a lot less toxins in the air in your home, so it's good for small children. Also asthma, yeah, a good one. And she uses essential oils to perfume. They're great. So we tested a lot of candles before, and we were like, well, man, this is such an amazing product. And also on a spiritual level, I believe this is such a great tool to use with your manifestation tool on your altar, or if you pull tarot cards, or if you decide to, let's say, do a vision board with whatever you want to manifest. So we decided to create one candle for every chakra energy in order for you to be able to manifest this energy. So all the 7 chakras are there with the stones that are associated with that. So I think it's really enhancing the spiritual value of the candle. And also it becomes like such a magical tool when you use it and you light it up, and let's say you work or you meditate or you try to manifest something.
Okay, so I have, I'm the lucky guinea pig. I have one of the first of these lines of production here. This was also a gift for my birthday, so big thank you to you, Elena and Julie. But Elena explained the 2 things here on the screen. Clearly, as you look at these, you're like, whoa, that wick looks different. So explain to us what the wick is, and also how and why you choose these specific crystals to go with these chakras, and what treatment you have for these crystals as well.
Perfect. So I'll start with the full moon candle that we see with the garnet. This is going to help you through your root chakra, and this candle is perfect if you have like in a full moon ritual. Sandalwood. This is the one you have, JC. Sandalwood fragrance, and it has a very strong spiritual energy, and this will bring you more closer to divine. Amazing.
Yeah. I just want to add, I don't know if you were going to talk about it, but you added this wooden wick, so it's a crackling wooden wick, right? So
Right.
it's like well, maybe you can explain it better than I, but it's giving you like this fireplace type of ambience in your room. So I think it's really warm.
You say it correctly, and that's why you feel like more connected as well to the forest and earth as well.
And I gotta tell you, I love this one, the sandalwood. As soon as I opened it, I was like, "Whoa!" Like it transports you to a different place. And of course, I haven't lit this one. I lit the first one that we got to, and the smell is just amazing. And I love the sound of that wick, also giving that feel that you have a fireplace in front of you. So absolutely amazing product. Let me bring some tarot behind here too, because I'm curious, as we are with all of our new guests here, what energies are propelling them, because we're all working together to create this new organic economy for humans, void of this energy extraction matrix, and we're all supporting each other here to grow. So let me ask Janine first. What can the cards tell us here in terms of the energy supporting Elena specifically in her path, in her growth, in her lifetime, and now here in this new business endeavors, helping people connect and center with the use of her amazing candles?
Wow. It's definitely talking about becoming known for her work. I don't think it's just about the candles, though. I think it's about so becoming known for her integrity and intuitive work. So I feel like somehow the candles are just an introduction, and it'll lead a lot of people to her. Somehow it may enhance another part of her work, and it's going to be part of her, or a big part of her income and her ability to be abundant, but also share with others. So this feels like it's one of the ways it brings people and shares her. She's this kind of a witchy card. So it's sharing her, because if you think about it, candle making, that's been around for a long time. And especially if you're making it almost with intention, and it sounds like magically in a way, right? So that's very from the ancient times, right? So this woman would have been magical. She's our pagan goddess. Right. So I feel like it's this other part of you coming back around to do work like that again. And but it puts you on the map somehow, and or brings people to other gifts that you have. So it's not just about the candles, although that's a great gateway to bring people in. But I got a feeling it's going to actually introduce them to kind of your magic and what kind of healing you do.
Wow, fabulous. Thank you so much, Janine. Appreciate that. And that seems to make sense. Like there's bigger, better things also coming, I think, for Elena. She's here for much longer this time around in this, our incarnation, and whatever we can do to help, of course, we will support. Somebody in the chat was saying, hey, where can we order? Well, that's easy. You can do so at MaisonJupiter.com. Just click on the boutique here and you'll get to this page where you'll see these 7 different chakra candles. By clicking on each of them, you'll get the description. And how did you call her? What did you say? Yoga instructor and candle magician. Yes. So yes, the candle magician is there in the nomenclature already. So you're right, Janine. Let me bring Sophie also up on the screen here. Sophie, you've had the opportunity, of course, through Elena, a little bit more. But also, let's pick from the cards here and see what energies are propelling her in this lifetime and this particular transition for this incarnation as well.
Sure. I want to start with your card, Janine, because I was amazed that you had 2 fire energy in her card, and we have the wood in the card, so it's amazing. So let me see.
Oh, people are asking for the link again. Okay, let me bring that up on the screen. Again, MaisonJupiter.com. You'll find it on the top menu. And folks, if you're watching this now, also, I'll pin the links to the comment section below as soon as we finish the show. And they will also be in the description box of this video as well. Go ahead, Sophie.
So I have to agree with you, Janine. Completely right about that. I do have the spotlight is on you. This is the right timing. So Of course, it's Elvis, but it is the card to say that the spotlight is on you. So it is absolutely, for me, the right timing to start something like that. We have also work in progress with the 8 of Pentacles. So that means that there's more to come, and so stay tuned, because there is other project that will be there. You will continue to develop new ideas. And the last card, we had the candle. We had the obsession. So I think that for everyone, this project will become an obsession, and I won't mind.
I love it. I'm absolutely enthused with mine, of course. I do my meditations, I do my crystal grids, I use silver in the whole process as well. What I was missing was a very unique and personal candle to the experience. I buy candles in stores all the time, but this feels to me a little bit more powerful. And I love the fact also that Elena, as Janine was saying, puts the magic or the paganism into that, and she's charging all of her crystals also in a very specific process during the production here of these amazing candles. Let me maybe give you the opportunity here, Elena, to ask either Sophie, Julie, or Janine a question about your path in this lifetime or the business endeavor you're just entering now. Carte blanche, if you want to ask them a question, go ahead.
Well, I know. Well, okay. Let me ask a question. Like, is this moment of my life will guide me through all this? Like, I know, like, on a spiritual way, I'm connected, but I'm gonna learn even more in this past of my life.
So is it going to lead you into more spiritual knowledge about yourself? Is that what you're asking?
Exactly.
Okay, very good. You want to tackle that one first, Janine?
Sure.
Okay. And Julie, if you want, and with Elena's permission also, maybe you can also plot through her astrological alignments and see what supports her also in this endeavor. I'll get to you next, Julie.
So the leaving behind of the old path could be a little bit, was it worrisome when you first left the full-time sort of job? Okay, and you did it rather quickly or abruptly?
Yes.
Yeah. Because that's always how Scorpios do everything. and then the pain comes because they're like, oh, what did I do? Yes. Yeah, that was, that's how it works. With but it was karmic and just. So it's completely karmically part of your spiritual path. So that right there, that's a yes to what you're asking is it going to further my growth spiritually to be on this path is what I'm assuming you're asking that. And I'm going to say, oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
It's also going to change everything. It's going to change everything. And it also helps you be more with your family, because we know that 9 to 5s or nowadays it's more like, a lot earlier to, it's more like 7 to 8:30 or something, by the time you get out of work. But those kind of jobs, they're kind of, I can't say that word. They're kind of dark hat. Let's dark cult. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Created, right? So they're created by kind of who we're fighting against in this world situation. You know what I mean? And a lot of us need to step away from that. It's brutal. It's not good for families. It's not. You have twins. You need time to enjoy your partner. If you're raising them with a partner, you need time to develop your relationship with the kids. I was happy to step away from full-time. I was a bartender and a waitress and managing clubs and things like that when I had my daughter. I was already a tarot card reader, but I was doing it like a lot of readers sort of on the side. And this way it allows you to step fully into your magical work. And it might feel like you have to because you just couldn't do the corporate anymore or whatever, but it'll turn into the best thing you ever did. That's what I get. It'll be the best thing you ever did.
Wow. Okay. Fascinating. Julie, before you get into the astrological alignment here for Elena and perhaps how they support this endeavor, there's somebody on the screen saying, oh my God, I just ordered 3. And somebody else just ordered 3. Let's talk about the delivery process here. We don't want to overwhelm the system. What can people expect here on Maison Jupiter as they order these amazing candles? Julie?
Well, I'm going to be helping out Elena in the coming days to ship as quickly as we can to all those beautiful candles. So
okay.
It should be pretty fast. So we'll see. We'll keep you posted on how we're doing.
Well, we can always do a follow-up show next week just to let people know how the initial launch went and where you guys are at in the production and the delivery. I know that there's already a big inventory ahead for you guys that Elena has been working on here before we did this show. But judging by some of the comments, I think that inventory is going to get low pretty quick. So you're going to have to get back to work there, Elena, very, very soon. Okay, Julie, go ahead.
I said to Julie today, I said, I feel like our baby that we're giving our baby, and tonight we're giving birth of that baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in the spirit of things, of course, I have the full moon crystal, and this is the sandalwood with the it's carnelian crystals, right?
Garnet.
Garnet.
This one. Okay, garnet. Sorry about that. Let me open that up also while we're here. See if I can. All right, there you go. So we'll have the experience here as we go.
It's funny that Janine mentioned she had the Queen of Wands, which is, she said, the witch, and Elena charges all the crystals under the full moon, so to make sure that they're really powerfully charged. So that was funny.
I love it. Okay. Astrologically speaking, Julie, anything to add to the context?
Yeah, well, Elena has a lot of Scorpio in her chart. So all that we were talking about before, she felt really connected to the description, is because she has like a double whammy type of Scorpio energy. She has her sun in Scorpio, and it's in the 8th house, which is the house connected to Scorpio. So she has her sun, she has Pluto, also the planet that's related to Scorpio, in the 8th house in Scorpio. And she also has the South Node, as we were talking earlier, in Scorpio, and Saturn also. She has a stellium. What we call a stellium is 3 or more planets in one house or one sign. So that means a lot of scorpionic energy. And often we say that the sun is related to your life mission. So for you, all this scorpionic energy is like totally a healer type of energy. So using your magic in service to the collective, so helping other connect to themselves, empower themselves, as you're doing with yoga and with candles also. And Elena is such like a sweet soul. She everybody that connects with her feels this kind of motherly, warm energy. And like, you can tell her anything, you never feel judged by her. She's like, she listens to you, and she's like, she has this very protective and really open energy about her. And like Janine said earlier, a Scorpio, if you have like a really true friend that's a Scorpio, they're going to be loyal forever. And like Elena is the most loyal friend I've ever had. I can say that for sure.
Wow. The very high praise coming from you, Julie. I guess let's do a quick round table. I'll start with Sophie, then I'll go back to Elena, Julie, and Janine next to close the show. Sophie, anything from the cards before we go here tonight that we should share with the audience members, either about the Scorpios detoxing or the specific candles and how they can help people here center and go through some of these difficult times? Man, I gotta tell you, this candle smells absolutely amazing. My dog was in here earlier that smelled like dog, but now it smells like really good candle. I love it. I should have done that earlier.
Elena was like, "Oh, I think this is gonna be for JC, this one," and she
really like
the right one.
Well, my aftershave, not that I shave often, but I do have sandalwood, natural sandalwood aftershave oil, and I love it. So you were right on the money with that, Elena. Thank you.
So your cards, Elena, are the leader. Okay, about all of this new adventure for you. You have the leader. So take charge and trust in that process. Trust in you in that. There's more to come. We talked about that. But first of all, you are the leader. We have curiosity and excitement. So I think that's the big change from what you were doing before. I think that's what will propulse you even further in that project, is that you will always keep that very Gemini energy about it. You will always be looking for new ideas, new creation, this excitement about this project. And the last card is for everyone using that project. We have manifestation tools, the magician. So everyone can share a bit of your energy, of your gift, and manifest what they want to attract in their lives.
Okay, very good. Last words to you here, Elena, and then I'll go to Julie and Janine to close up the show. Elena?
I wanted to say, from here, I can feel the energy of the candle that you opened, and you lighted the candle, and it's the energy is I can feel it from here. And every time, let's say when I open my candles, I think I said to you, Julie, today, oh, my candle is agitated. And depending on, there's so much energy and vibrations that today I can say that the energy that you guys also gave me, it's amazing. And I feel like I'm on the right path.
Oh, wow. Beautifully said. And very poetic. I love it. Okay. Julie, back to you here before we go to Janine.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for Elena because as we were talking earlier, she did like a big 180 in her career. When she gave birth to the twins, she had to change her work very abruptly indeed. And in order to spend more time with the niños, as we call them. And so I'm super proud of her because I feel like it's the beginning of something very important that sets her off on this spiritual path. She was already a yoga instructor, but I feel like this is one tool that's being added to your tool set. And I feel like you said, you're on your path, and I'm super honored to be part of this journey with you.
Wow, absolutely beautiful. And Sue Jones says, I ordered 7. I'm telling you guys, your inventory is going to get low really, really fast. Okay, Janine, last words for you tonight. And a big thank you to all of you, Sophie, Julie, and Janine, for supporting us in this initiative and supporting Elena, of course, also on the product launch of these amazing candles. Janine.
I pulled some cards just in parting for just Scorpio energy going forward.
Okay,
and like Julie said, everyone has it somewhere in their chart, because a chart has all the 12 signs, even if it's just an empty house in the chart. What is sitting or what's on the cusp of that house is going to also have an effect in your personality. So all of the signs have an effect. So this is for everybody who's watching. Let's just say that going forward, because we're in some really intense times, as we know. And even like this weekend, we have that huge Christian holiday. So Easter's coming up, and we know that somehow that got a little bit hijacked. If you think about some of the symbology of Easter, it's quite interesting. Right. Everything's so upside down, and we're in some really uncharted waters as a human race. So I just thought I'd pull some for us going forward. So we've got this card is waiting, and that word discernment comes to mind because this person is in a yoga position and they become enlightened. That's where the halo comes in. They become enlightened through putting themselves in a difficult position or being patient and waiting. So I feel like don't get button pushed with, there's going to be all kinds of things coming out that I think are going to try to move us right in the 11th hour as truthers and a community off our balance, right? So just, I think, take everything in and observe and don't react. That's what I'm going to try to do for sure. And here we've got, and things are going to happen from this point forward. Like as we're observing, things are going to go really fast. It's like everything speeds up with that card. This is like all of a sudden, everything goes a lot faster. in particular to do with our money system. So there's some big change around our finances that's going to be most particularly, we're going to notice that because all of these are pentacle. These are both pentacle cards. Something that's already happened in the background, we're going to find out about. And I feel like it actually brings down the road. I mean, there's going to be bumps first, but I think it eventually leads to a more abundant community in general.
Wow.
So that's good, but it doesn't happen overnight. But I feel like the signs of it are coming really fast. So we're going to get some really big signs on what direction our financial world is going. And even though we're spirit, we're soul, we're still living in a physical body. So that's going to be important just for security reasons going forward.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're moving into a more advanced way of being, but it's going to take time.
And I totally agree with you, Janine. Things are we're living now the quickening. You and I have been talking about this since the beginning of our series, and things, yes, indeed, are moving faster and faster. And what better time now to perhaps slow down where we can, find those little pockets of serenity, and to connect with our higher selves. And what best, perhaps, than one of these amazing candles to help you along that journey of slowing down. Yeah. And connecting with your higher self and the fulfillment of your life mission here on Earth. You can do so here at MaisonJupiter.com. You'll find that in the boutique section. And if you use the coupon code BeyondMystic, of course, you'll get another 10% off not only the readings, the birth charts, but also these amazing, beautiful candles. You can find Sophie here as well for a tarot reading at 10% off using the coupon code BeyondMystic, as well as the birth charts if you're looking at getting a little bit more information on your astrology in your life and how to better navigate it. This was another Divine Feminine Oracle show with Julie, Sophie, and Janine. You can find, of course, Janine. There's a lot of people here on the show. Janine here at Sending Ravens on YouTube, and of course also here at Tarot by Janine. Please do like, share, and subscribe to Maison Jupiter on the web, and stay tuned for all of their amazing new content as they are producing more and more on a daily basis. And last but not least, please do come and subscribe here if you're not already subscribed to JeanClaude at Beyond Mystic. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great and wonderful weekend, and we'll see you soon. Au revoir.
Au revoir.